Hey guys, Alex here with Cyber Echo. I just wanted to thank you for checking in on this video, and also too, I hope this helps you guys. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment below, or you can also email me at cyberechostudios with an s.com or info@cyberechostudios.com, or you can also visit my website. It is cyberechostudios.com. It's a storefront, but there's also a contact page and a news feed. You'll be able to follow me as well as ask any questions, and I will be more than happy to answer. So here's my video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Hosting companies automatically will go ahead and back up your site. There's usually an extra fee for it. I know it's relatively an inexpensive cost, but when we're talking about being in business for 5, 10 years, that's a lot of money that you could have applied elsewhere. I know that for me at GoDaddy, it costs $1.99 a month to back it up. And so I'd rather take my, what would that be, over 10 years, 240 bucks, something like that. I'd rather take that and apply it to either Profits or a tool that it could be using. So I'm going to show you two ways on how to go ahead and do this. It's a really easy process. Um, and later on in a different video, we can talk about cron jobs where we can set it up so that your server will automatically back up your information. But let's go ahead and jump into the manual way just to go ahead and be thorough. Now, first, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want somewhere to go ahead and store your files. Right here, CyberEcho Backups. This is going to be my website. Now, I'm going to make a new one just for the simple fact of showing people thoroughly how to go ahead and do this. While I'm doing this, let's do this CyberEcho test backup. Okay, so this is where all my files are going to go. Now, I will tell you this, that just because this is where my files are, that is not the only place where I stick my files. I also have them in Dropbox, as well as, oh gosh, I forget what Google's version of Dropbox is, but Google Drive, that's right. I have it on a portable hard drive, and I also have it on my physical hard drive. Why do I have all that? Because if one fails, I have multiple copies. Is it a little excessive to have it on 4 devices? Sure, but my business, my lifestyle, my everything is within this site. So, backtracking, make a folder. Now, Cox Communications reliability again. Now, we want to go ahead and log into our hosting. As I said, I'm with GoDaddy, so I am going to go into my hosting account, and this is going to be what's referred to as my cPanel. Now, if you look in here, you'll see that backup wizard. Well, and backup, that's what's going to cost the $1.99 a month. I could pay for it, sure, but I'd rather have my own physical copy for reasons that I already talked about. But let's go ahead and get a copy. We're going to want to go into our file manager, and we are going to ultimately be going into our public directory, but I always start out at the web root in case if I have multiple sites. Now you can either access file manager by clicking here or up here in the green bar. So we're going to go there. Now, this is the easy way that I'm going to go ahead and explain, but I'm going to show you another way in case if your site's been compromised and you're having access issues getting into your cPanel, or I don't know, there's too many different scenarios on why you'd do it a different way to really be able to list them all. But, so we are right now in our public HTML folder. This is all the content of your website. Everything that is your site is right here. Now, here's what we're going to want to do. we're going to want to select all these files, and let me expand my browser here. We are going to hit select all, and then we are going to compress. Now, I want to point out that this is going to keep your website running while you're doing this. It is just going to make a zip bin folder. Okay, so the type of folder I want it to be is a zip archive folder. I am going to go ahead and compress it. It's going to do its thing. And let's talk about why we want to go ahead and compress this. This is a big website of mine. So it's important that I compress it because for the download and upload factor, this is going to be much faster in a zip folder. I mean, for example, that's a lot of files to go through. Also, too, if you still need convincing on why you should back up, because if your website gets hacked, and they do what's called a PHP injection, you're going to be going through each and every individual file that you see here, looking for the code, taking out the bad code, and putting in the correct code. So not only do you need to know how to do it, you also need a lot of time. Otherwise, you'll be paying someone, for example, GoDaddy. I believe the charge is somewhere around $200. And even that, you're looking at downtime of like 3 to 4 days, something along those lines. So now, we have our CGI bin zip folder. This is everything that we just looked at, your entire site. Now, what we want to go ahead and do is download it. So right here is my zip folder. So it's downloading. We are going to go ahead and update this. Now, I'm going to make 2 folders here. And let me explain why in a moment. This one is going to be called Content. Oh. Let's rename it Content. Let's rename this one Database. I will go into why you want to have 2 separate folders in a moment. Now, we're in the Content folder. This is good habit. Make another folder. I'm going to call it 7/27/17. My reason for this is I back up every day. So we now have that folder created, and I am going to drag and drop. So now I have a complete backup on my personal computer, ready to go anytime. Doesn't take up hardly any space. And then later on, I'm going to send that to my Dropbox, Google Drive, and my portable hard drive. So now let's drill down to see where this is. So to find it, I know for some this might be basic, but I apologize. I want to make sure that everybody has the same opportunities. So we went into our Cyber Echo test backup folder. Then we went to make another folder within it, so called Content. We have today's date, and then we have our backup there. Now, we're going to do the same thing with Database. I will explain what the difference is. 7/27/17. Good, made. All right, now let's go into our database. Close that out, that's fine. So we're going to go into our admin. Now, for those of you who are using a Windows environment, also known as Plesk, it's going to be MMS SQL. Same thing, just the Microsoft version is ever so slightly different. So we have our database. Now we need to get all these files And here they all are. Now I'm going to go over what these are, what the difference is in a moment. Then what we are going to want to do is we are going to want to export. Export, of course, is taking out. We're going to go ahead and do this quick. We're going to keep the format as SQL. We're going to go ahead and download, or go rather. Then we are going to take this and drop it on in. Okay, so kosher. So that is all done. Now, what we can go ahead and do, I should have done this before, but going back into the file manager, just go ahead and keep it clean. I am going to take this copy of the backup and I am going to delete. Skip the trash and permanently delete. Now, deleting things, you need to be very cautious, and a lot of people, rightfully so, freak out whenever they're hitting the delete key in their hosting environment. That was the backup. And as proof, I'm at my website right here. Okay, it's a work in progress, so be gentle there. But I'm going to go ahead and F5 and refresh. My website is still here. So everything is good. Internet's running a little slow, so that can leave a little bit to be desired. But so that's all there. So now let's talk about the difference between content and database. Okay, so content is everything visually that your website is, pictures, plugins, everything. Okay, that is what everyone sees. Your database is the engine or the brain, however you want to go ahead and think of it. This is everything that your website does. You can't have one without the other and it still be expected to work. So, what you would need to do is have both of them backed up, and then you can go ahead and send the copies to whatever devices you need. Like I said, I do not recommend just putting all your eggs in one basket and saving it on your local machine, because local machines can die just the same as a server, and then you don't have your website. Now, so that's all done. Let's talk about the other way. So let's say, for example, I, for one reason or another, cannot get into my website or into my cPanel. Okay, fine. What you would need to do, and you can see I've already started the process, is you need to find a program called FileZilla. It's free. It's a quick download. I just went to Google, typed in FileZilla. There we go. And I have the 64-bit, so boom, there we go. So I already have it. This is kind of new. So I already have it, so no big deal. Once you download it, you click on it, you open it up, you will get this. You won't see all this because it won't be downloaded yet, but you will need this information. So let me go ahead and start a new tab. Okay, here we go. I think coincidentally just finished. Goody. Okay, so let me show you where you can get some of that information. Now, each hosting company might be a little bit different when it comes to where to find the information, but it's pretty universal, especially with cPanel. And Plus, they're the most commonly used, so that's where I know the best. So I am going into my cPanel again. Now, when you go ahead and start your hosting package, when you create the credentials, those are also going to be your what's called FTP login credentials. So, me personally, I am going to need to use this IP address, which is not the same for everybody, but for my specific hosting, that's what you want to go ahead and use. That's where you can find your IP address. Then, my username, this is again what I first created my account. If I need a refresher, there it is. This is how I log in. And there we go. So they're a match. I know my password. If I had to, though, I can go ahead and change it and get all that changed around. So I take my password and I put it in right there. Now, port is also important. In my cPanel, I have port 21. That means whenever I put in my website as HTTP semicolon // and my domain name cyberechostudios.com, that it pulls up. If my server is using SFTP, that means I'm putting in HTTPS and then semicolon / cyberechostudios.com. Now, later on, I will talk about the difference between SSL and not, but another video, another time. So this is going to be port 21. Your hosting provider likely cannot give you your password, but all this they should be able to go ahead and get. The port, the username, and the host name is all pretty quickly. Then you do Quick Connect. Alright, so now let's talk about the site. Or what we see in these boxes. To your left is going to be your local machine. This is the computer at your house or wherever you're doing this at. You want to find your folder. So again, we're using the Cyber Echo Test Backup. I'm going to create a directory. And let me just do it this way. We're going to call this the long backup. Reason being is because this takes a little bit longer. So let's go out of it. Let's go back into it. Long backup. So now we have all these folders. Now this is everything that is our site. This is all the files in the public HTML. Okay, so this is server level. This is website right here. This is what you want to look for. Public _HTML. So now I'm going to take this, minus the file that shows the 2 periods, because that just means going back. And I'm going to take these, hold in Shift, highlight all of them, and then I'm going to drop it in there. Now, it is moving all the files from my hosting into my folder. Now, that is going to take a little bit because it's not compressed. Like we talked about earlier, when you have your files compressed, it's going to be a lot quicker. So let's go ahead and minimize this. Now, you're going to do the same thing for your database. That's going to be the easiest way to go ahead and get your database through there. Now, let's say your website crashed and you need to utilize your backup. So log into your hosting, or let's say accidentally you forgot to pay for your hosting and your website's been deleted and your hosting package. Non-recoverable. Okay, fine. Doesn't matter. What you do is you buy your new hosting plan, have it set up whatever company you want, and then you go ahead and go into your file manager. Okay. I'm going to show you both ways. It's basically just reverse engineering. Now, I'm not going to do it, but again, these are all my folders, so none of these would be here. So what I can go ahead and do is select Upload, choose my file. We put our file in, let's see here. Let me find it. There we go. Now you want to go ahead and upload this as, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. You want to go ahead and upload this as your zip file so it doesn't take forever. So we now have that. It's uploading right now as we speak. I'm going to wait for that to get to 100%. Also, too, chances are, leave this alone at 644. We'll go into permissions and all that in a later video, but if you mess with this, it could potentially really screw up your website and cause a lot of damage to you. So, 644 is a good thing. So that's downloading. 86, 91, 96, complete. Okay, now we're going to hit back. Here it is. Now, this is the part that I'm not going to do, but if you lost your website and need all your files, then you would just go ahead and select this, and then you would extract. And all your folders will show back up. But, like I said, I'm going to delete this, and I don't want that in there, just because I don't like confusion. The less files, the better, etc., etc. Now, let's say your website is compromised, and you need to go ahead and get rid of all these folders. Everything within your website directory, go ahead and purge, and then go ahead and re-upload. My advice is, if you've never done anything like this, check with a web admin or anybody who's experienced to go ahead and say, yeah, go ahead and delete all those folders. Because if you have an incomplete backup, or you didn't do the process correctly, or any slight number of things that could go wrong, you will lose your website. I go based off the assumption, though, something is better than nothing. So that is what you want to go ahead and do. And now let's go ahead and let's go into the database. So this part I am really not going to do, because database work can be a huge nightmare. All you want to go ahead and do is select import. None of those folders, again, will go ahead and be there. Choose the file. So in this case, we want to go to database. Here we go. Select it, open, upload it, hit go. And then you will have your database. So right there is how you save $240 every 10 years, or some places are even still more expensive, and it's better than paying for something that you shouldn't need to. Guys, I really hope this helps out. Even if it helps out just one person, I feel good about that, because I can't tell you how much it breaks my heart to hear someone tell me about how they lost their entire livelihood because their site is broke and they didn't have a backup. That sucks. But at the end of the day, it's not really the hosting company's responsibility to back up your own business. And I know some people aren't going to like to hear that, but if they backed up everybody's site, I mean, that's liability for millions of people. So, it's just not practical. So, again, I hope this helps at least one person. Guys, comment to me, hit up the site. The site's a work in progress, I'll be honest with you. It's nowhere near finished, but I also have some news feeds that are going on. Also, too, you can contact me via YouTube comments. I also have an email form here. I always try to get back to you ASAP, but depending on the volume of people, give me a little bit of time there. Also, too, I want to hear from you guys what type of videos you want. I'm not a website designer by any means, so I can't really help out too much there aside from a little bit of personal knowledge. As you can see, my skills are kind of limited to this and a little bit above. But hosting, questions, good practices, all that kind of stuff, I'm definitely happy to help out for. Also, let me know what kind of videos you guys want. I know I've got a couple of Let's Plays coming out. I'm going to do some streaming here. And then for YouTube, I pretty much am going to have various videos on things like these and different topics. Like I said, love this site. It's secure. Lots of different products that you can get. And the nice part is it goes through Amazon. So when you go ahead and purchase through Amazon, that's where the payment's going through, all that kind of stuff. So it's secure, lots of inventory. It's been a great experience working with Amazon so far. So anyways, guys, be real, have fun, enjoy your time building your site or whatever you're doing. And I appreciate it if you like and subscribe and check out the CyberEchoStudios.com. So I hope you all have a good one. Take care.